The hive cluster is under attack.
Hey, Nookanites, this is day 1 of the OSL Round of 8. So yes, the round of 16 is long gone. Those guys, half of those guys were just destroyed, exploded, kicked out of a moving car, thrown from a helicopter. What else? Carried off by wild monkeys. And now we're left with 8 badasses to vie for the title, including these 2 guys right here, dripping with machismo. Which sounds kind of gross, but this is Action versus Jaedong, a ZVZ Best of 3 series. Of course, all the first sets will be played today, but man, just look at Jaedong. He looks so freaking angry in the later stages of tournaments. He looks like he wants to grab your puppy and just throw it into the Death Star. I'm Jaedong. But alright, here we go. Oh, I'm so excited, but here we go. Yes, like I said, all the first sets will be played today. Sets 2 and 3, if they're needed, will be played next week on the Busan stage. Except down at the 5 o'clock position in purple is a Zerg scouting in the right direction. Could it be Jaedong? Nope, it's Action. So Action's scouting the right direction. Let's look up at the 2 o'clock position. Actually, Jaedong's scouting in the right direction too, so never mind. I'm Jaedong. I sat in something sticky. It's unpleasant, but I'm Jaedong. But alright, both guys scouting in the right direction. This should be a very, very fun ZVZ. And as I've said about Jaedong, he just focuses in so much in the later parts of tournaments. That's where you see Jaedong really shine. He gets so angry, so focused, and he is just a powerhouse, especially in his favorite matchup, which is ZVZ. But alright, this is a good opportunity to get a few predictions out of the way. Since it is ZVZ, I always feel rushed to get things out of the way. But alright, here we go. Here's one from Natty Starcraft. Writes, Action will sweat so profusely his soaked shirt... Man, this is hard to say. Let's start over. Action will sweat so profusely his soaked shirt will disturb his back knee. He will be forced to take his shirt off, and Korean television will censor the disturbing sight, leaving Jaedong laughing and then being disqualified for discrimination to back knee nights, the new social class demanding respect. Wow! I'm not sure how to follow that one up. But alright, let's take a look at the build orders from these guys, both pumping 12 drones. Let's see if they both go for the expansion. Jaedong going for his expansion. While it looks like the 12 pool coming up for Action, so the strategies are not mirrored. But as soon as Action sees that hatchery, sees Jaedong hatchery with his Overlord, he's probably going to throw down his base too. It's pretty standard to do that anyway from a 12 pool build, to throw down your hatchery as soon as you possibly can after that. So yes, Jaedong will have a slight econ advantage, and he'll be able to outpump Action for a little while, but hopefully Action can get out the right micro to deal with that. There is Action actually going out to throw down his own hatchery, so things are going to be pretty mirrored. You want to be able to keep up with the number of hatcheries your Zerg opponent has these days. But here's another prediction from Rio Veins. Zero writes, Action's Mafia cronies will break Jaedong's fingers before the match, but Jaedong will use his demon powers to regenerate his bones and crush the Mafia Zerg. Score 1 for the Dong! So yes, Mafia versus demon powers. I'd love to see that movie. Here's another one from Daryl0085 writes, Not being Jaedong is ultimately a terminal condition. In all fairness, Action has been doing amazing, but I have to favor Jaedong statistically. As you can see, Jaedong morphing his lair at his natural expansion, trying to keep it away from the Overlord. So I'd say that Action's going to be a little bit confused going in there, not seeing the lair anywhere, so he might expect a Zergling run by, but he's going to keep an eye on Jaedong's base, see if Zerglings are popping out of the larvae. But Jaedong is mining with all 3 drones on his gas, and here comes Action with his second Overlord Scout at the natural expansion, so he's going to be in the know as far as where the lair is. So alright, Jaedong already making his way down the map. He has the exact same number of Zerglings that Action has. So Jaedong most likely not going to be able to do much to this brand new hatchery from Action, and Action is going to be pumping reinforcement from that second hatchery soon. So I'd say that Action is pretty good. But now Jaedong, he has his Overlord Scout in. That's going to help him a lot as far as these Zergling battles go. Both guys, I think, have both Overlords in the main and natural area to know when to attack with their Zerglings. And okay, I'd see both guys. I can see the Spire first. Spire almost at the exact same time, actually, from both guys. This is going to be a great Muta-Air battle. As I think Jaedong is trying to sneak around with his Zerglings. He's hiding them behind the natural expansion. He's going to know when these Zerglings are moving out from Action. He's going to try to run into a counterattack, but Action deciding to fall back with his own Zerglings since he has an overwhelming force. He'll be able to take these down, but let's see if Jaedong gets some drone kills. Does get one drone. Trying his best to pick off more. Picks off a second drone. Some nice focus firing from Jaedong on those drones. Already whittling down the economy from Action. So Action, he needs every single advantage he can get against a player like Jaedong. So letting those 2 drones go down could be absolutely fatal for him. And here comes Jaedong with a huge amount of Zerglings pushing towards the front, looking so pissed off. I'm Jaedong, but here comes Jaedong. Going to be outnumbered as far as Zerglings go here. He's going to have to back off. Yes, he does back off. I think he has about the same number of Zerglings, actually, but still, he didn't want to push his luck because he already got 2 drone kills. He doesn't need to play risky at this stage in the game. Running into the main with one very badly damaged Zergling, most likely not going to get another drone kill. If he does get a drone kill, I'll be very surprised and somewhat shocked that Action wouldn't be able to defend against it, but I'm pretty sure he did take care of that inside of his base. And there's Action trying to do the exact same thing that Jaedong looks like successfully sneaking into that base, using the opportunity to get all of his own Zerglings into position outside his natural. But some nice drone micro from Jaedong. He doesn't lose a single drone there. But he did run in with a few Zerglings. I think actually Jaedong does have more Zerglings. Now he has the Mutas out. Oh, man. But once Jaedong gets a nice grouping of Mutas out, this could be over for Action. But just because he's so good at using Mutalist Micro and using Scourge at the same time to get the sneak attacks on in the air. So alright, Action, losing those 2 drones, is that going to put you immensely behind as far as Mutalist production goes? I'd say time will tell, but Jaedong's still hanging outside with plenty of Zerglings. He has plenty of Zerglings to take down these sneaky Zerglings that Action was trying to hide, much like Jaedong tried to hide earlier. Alright, Jaedong has more Mutalists, and he has a couple of Scourge alongside, and I think that Action decided to go for a couple groupings of Scourge there. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had 2 pair up in the air. But Jaedong working his way into the middle of the map, most likely going to work all the way down with his entire army, his Mutalists, his Scourge, and his Zerglings all pushing the front at the same time. Could be absolutely devastating for Action, since I'd say Jaedong is still out-pumping him, had that hatchery up a little bit earlier, and sniped a couple of drones, so I'd say he does have more production. Because Action had to drone back up. He had to pump those additional drones, so that put him behind as far as his unit production goes. So Jaedong wants to take advantage of this. He has Zerglings at the front, being killed by the Mutalists a bit, but he's going to try to use that to get a sneak attack on these other Mutas, doing the best he can. And Action, oh, he loses his Mutalist to the Scourge there, so he's already about 1 or 2 Mutalists behind Jaedong, as Jaedong plowing through with Zerglings now. Just way more Zerglings. And Action is going to have to focus in on his main, make sure all of his drones don't die to the Zerglings that just ran in there. I don't think too many drones were killed there. Not too many. And Action now has some Scourge to help himself protect his main a bit. But Jaedong is still pushing reinforcements down the map. He has reinforcement Zerglings on the way. Just going to try to blindside Action, get by those Mutalists the best he can with these Zerglings. using his Mutalisk as kind of a distraction for the Zerglings, smartly enough, going in, trying to pick off as many drones as possible, and picking off the drones at the natural expansion at the same time. Oh, look at this. Micromanagement, macro management, too, from Jaedong. This is absolutely wonderful to watch. And a ZVZ. But now Jaedong taking a few Scourge hits of his own, but landing the Scourge. That's the critical part there. Oh man, so Jaedong landing the Scourge on Action. I'd say Action is way behind in his Mutalisk production, though. He can kind of feign that he has more Mutalisk than Jaedong by attacking at this point, but I don't think that Jaedong's going to fall for that. Nope, GG from Action. Jaedong taking the first set, kind of uncharacteristic of him to take the first set, but putting himself in a great position to move into the semifinals now. He's going to catch Action on a huge stage in front of a lot of people with his best matchup. Looking good for the Dong. Alrighty, this has been Nuke. Moving on to the second matchup.